Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival, where we're coming to you live from the media room at Yavapai College. Yavapai College is one of our sponsors, along with Mercedes-Benz as the title sponsor. We'd also like to thank our hoteliers, restaurateurs, all the volunteers who year after year come from everywhere just to volunteer for this festival and participate in this festival. And also the filmmakers. We've been known to be the Filmmakers Film Festival. We have also been awarded the 25 coolest film festivals in the world. So we'll take that honor greatly. And I'm also honored to introduce to you. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Tal Amran. I'm
Yes.
the director of the short documentary Weree.
And give us a little premise about the film.
So Weree tells the story of a Liberian refugee. His name is Johnson Weree. He's been living undocumented and without a fixed address in the Netherlands for over 30 years. His existence is quite precarious, but he's renowned, internationally. His work has been shown in museums and galleries around the world, yet his status hasn't changed. So all these years he's been living undocumented and homeless in Rotterdam.
So where exactly is he living? Because he is, like you said, undocumented, but where is that exactly?
So in the film the film starts with a scene where we see Johnson draws in a cafe. So Johnson's routine, as it were, is that he arrives at the central station of Rotterdam. There's a cafe there inside the station, and the cafe owner is gracious enough to allow Johnson to have his own table at the back of the cafe, where he draws every single day from 8 in the morning, also in the morning he takes a shower at the central station. He draws, he brings his portfolio, his pencils, and he draws until the cafe closed down at about 3 or 4 p.m. And this is where he goes, he buys food, and then he gets himself ready to go to sleep. Johnson was very candid about where he sleeps. He told me that he sleeps under a bridge, so he's got a particular spot in Netherlands. But he was very candid, and he was filming with Johnson, after hours, as it were, getting ready to go to sleep, was out of bounds. So that wasn't something that was included or where I was allowed by Johnson or invited by Johnson to film. It was very, private about that, which I totally respected.
Right. So how did that make you feel in seeing somebody whose artwork is like renowned and in galleries and did you say museums
That's
as
right,
well?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then basically has a lifestyle like he does. How did that make you?
It's really strange. It's heartbreaking because he's so talented, and he should be rewarded for his talent. And obviously, he got that recognition internationally from museums. The artists that cite Johnson as an influence, artists who are established or are really well known. So it's a really strange sort of contrast between his, existence, his situation. It's really difficult. It's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah. When you do a film or when you direct a film, there's always a takeaway for the filmmaker. What was your takeaway?
So for me, it was almost a lesson in resilience and dedication, because Johnson is so, we all have issues. We know we've got, issues at home or at work, but Johnson really grapples with really difficult circumstances, yet his spirit is always up. He's really optimistic, and he keeps, he's just a really positive person. I mean, not to say that Johnson hasn't got, sometimes, he would feel a bit low or like we all do. But for me, the biggest takeaway was really, the resilience and the ability to go past these difficulties and hurdles and keep a positive outlook despite all these difficult circumstances. My films so far have, in all my films, I've focused on communities of often undocumented or documented, but migrants with quite difficult sort of living circumstances. So I'm kind of, I've got a little bit of an experience, if I could put it that way, of working with people who are vulnerable. Their lives is difficult, much more difficult than mine, and ethically, it's always, it's a big thing because I make these films with them. Then I go back to the comfort of my home in London, and my contributors, the characters in my film, their circumstances don't change as a result of being in a film. So this is really sort of touches on the ethics and the difficulties in making non-fiction films where these are real characters, these are real people.
Right.
So yeah, there's something I think about a lot, but I can do what I can. I do what I can to help him.
Is he looking for a place to go or to live or not? Or is he comfortable?
So there was a time when Johnson lived in a shelter, in a homeless shelter in Rotterdam, and he told me that he wasn't really happy living there because of lots of drug and alcohol abuse. He really didn't like being there. He felt that the place just wasn't right. The people were just, there was violence there. He didn't want to be part of that. So he made a conscious decision almost to live on the street. He feels that he's got his freedom. He doesn't need to report to anybody. So it is slightly, I wouldn't say it's his choice, but he preferred that over having a roof over his head, yet, with the difficult, the other issues of sharing premises with people that.
So this may be a question that, I mean, I'm just curious because I don't even know. Like if you lived here in the United States and you were undocumented, but you're making money, right? It's like, how do you pay tax? You don't pay taxes or whatever. Is it like that in the Netherlands? I mean, because he is making money off of sales of his art, or does he get that directly, or what happens
Very
there?
little. So very little. I mean, he doesn't earn enough money. He doesn't sell enough of his work. So there's a gallery in London called the Gallery of Everything that represents Johnson and sells his work, but he doesn't sell as nearly as much to sustain. So he's able to sustain himself, but just about. So no, he doesn't pay taxes, but at the same time, he doesn't claim benefits. He doesn't. So it's not, a burden on the system, as it were, which is often some of the criticism that
Right.
that being, put forward when people talk about migrants abusing the system, so to speak. He doesn't. He
Right,
lives
right.
independently. He just doesn't sell enough to.
So how can we help him sell more art?
So I think, for me, what was really gratifying is that people did reach out to me and bought drawings from Johnson and from the gallery, and that's my way of helping him.
That's awesome,
Yeah, so that's something that if people are interested.
Yes, that's what I want to make a
yes,
point.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
and there's a website? Is there a website with his art?
So the Gallery of Everything is the gallery that represents Johnson. It's not that they take a huge share of money. It's not that they, abuse the artist and make a lot of money off his back. It's not the case.
Right.
They help him. They give him money to make work. So buying work through them is a way of helping him too,
Awesome.
even though it's not directly to Johnson.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for doing the film on that.
Thank
And
you
your
very
film is
much.
being shown.
So it screened yesterday, and it will be screening on Friday at the Harkins Theatre number 6 at 4 p.m. on Friday.
Okay, awesome.
Okay,
awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for being here in Sedona. And don't forget the peppermint oil.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And don't forget to follow us on social media, Sedona Film Fest, hashtag Sedona Film Fest. And we're also on the Facebook page with interviews, constant interviews all day long with myself and Tanya Jumor. So stay with us. We have more filmmaker interviews right after this.